What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Next Level TCG, where three dudes sit around and talk about Pokemon cards, and other random stuff. What's going on, Nate? What's going on, Drell?
I am super excited to have another three-way conversation again this week with Drell and Travis, I guess, here too. But I talk to you all the time, Travis, so I'm excited to get a third perspective in here. And this is some spicy stuff we're going to talk about, and hopefully comes true.
For sure. It's always fun to chat it up with the bros, and I'm excited what we're going to talk about.
Yes, super exciting topic today, guys. As we all know, Pokemon is the #1 multimedia selling franchise in the entire world. That's right, I did not stutter. It's bigger than Marvel, it's bigger than Star Wars, it's bigger than Disney, guys. Pokemon has sold more merchandise, more trading cards, more DVDs than any other media franchise in the entire world, and we actually think they have some room to grow, man. Right? Like, I mean, as popular as Pokemon is, there's definitely some space where they can, even extend their lead, don't you think?
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, they have so much going on. It kind of feels like maybe it's a little bit too much, and they could, definitely spend some time focusing on some key areas, for sure.
Not only the TCG, but like anything cinematic and video games as well. Especially after the pandemic, man, it seemed like they hit us with the Detective Pikachu in 2019, and then the pandemic hit, and it blew even more. Yeah. So, yeah.
They definitely confirmed us with Detective Pikachu too, but I think the release date for that did get pushed back because of COVID. So, I do believe they also announced a Netflix streaming series, live action, which has also been pushed back because of COVID and stuff like that. So I do think there are some changes coming for the better. But we have some ideas that might even get them over that hump, because right now, in my opinion, the #1 reason why Pokemon is the biggest selling franchise is because it's very child friendly. And whether you guys know it or not, but there's children all over this planet, they're everywhere.
Oh, yeah. Left and right.
They're all over the place. We can't get rid of them.
For sure.
But the #1 thing that I think that Pokemon could do to really step up their game is to cater to a little more adult oriented, because something that has happened with other niche medias like Star Wars and Marvel, Spider-Man, right? DC even, they have really grown with their audience, right? The Marvel Cinematic Universe, the Batman movies, they switched from being very kid-oriented movies back in the mid-90s to being very dark with Christian Bale as Batman. And the Marvel, Avengers movies are very adult. There's a lot of fighting, there's weapons, there's blood, there's all kinds of stuff.
Very dark.
Yeah, dark tone, cinematic. They've grown with their people, right? Their fans were reading these comic books and doing these things back in the 80s, 90s, even before that for some of the instances. But for Pokemon being introduced, technically in the mid 90s and in the late 90s in the United States, we're reaching that point where the immediate fan base is getting older. And there's a little bit of a disconnect, especially with things like the anime. And I'm even starting to know with the trading cards and stuff with the younger. They're going for the younger kids still, and I think it's time for them to step up. What are your guys' thoughts on them needing to cater towards a more grown-up audience?
Yeah, I didn't think about it like this before, but I think you're totally right, kind of with the Marvel comparison, right? So they all started off as cartoons and comic books and things like that. And, we see the same thing with Pokemon, the anime, the manga, and everything like that. And I think you're totally right, taking it to the next step in, making it more adult friendly, I think is the right step for sure. I know we had mentioned, early here that they're coming out with the live action Netflix series and things like that. I'm super excited for that. I that's something that I have been hoping that we're going to do for quite a while.
Yeah.
The thing that I hope is that it is a little bit more oriented towards an adult audience versus another kid oriented show. They definitely have plenty of those kid oriented things for Pokemon. So to see that, to where you know, it could be something like, you know, maybe not as hot and heavy as like a Game of Thrones or something like that. That's pretty intense when it comes to that kind of stuff. But, you know, I'm talking like the cinematic feel of it, right? Where it feels almost like a movie in every episode, and you have 10 episodes and each episode's an hour long. Like, put that effort into Pokemon, and I think it would explode with the adult audience.
Exactly. And then also with the video games, Ash and the game have their own type of video game, you know, because always starting off when they're 10 years old, you know, have a video game where you see Ash as an adult now, but not typically for Ash, but just like any main character that they go with in a video game. And also the Pokemon designed to be more adult-ish too, because it seems like they're getting more kiddish with the designs, you know, getting more colorful and whatnot, maybe more details into it.
Like, I think the alternate arts were one of their forays into that for sure, you know, adding these more, you know, like the Giratina card. Like I don't know a single kid who wants that distortion world Giratina who's like, oh, that's a dark ass card.
Exactly, yeah. Like you see how detailed those cards are, realistic, like.
Yeah,
you know, more realistic, not like the cartoon.
Well, they kind of like, they got the child alternate arts too, like the Machamp, right? I look at the Machamp from Astral Radiance, and I'm like, okay, that's an alternate art that's geared towards children. Like, I would have loved to see more of a, you know, fighting, you know, Machamp that was just throwing down in like a freaking back alley MMA ring, you know, like bare knuckle style.
He's out running errands.
Yeah, exactly. Instead, he's carrying laundry and groceries.
He carrying all the grocery bags, everything. One trip.
But I dude, like going back to like what Nate was saying with the you know, the live action television show. I'm very interested to see what they're going to do with this, because I will be disappointed if it comes off as almost like a Disney show. Like, you know, we're getting Hannah Montana style. That would be super disappointing to me.
Please don't.
No, we want Mandalorian style.
That's exactly what we need. We need, you know, Loki, you know, Captain America, Winter Soldier style.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, that's what we need. And they definitely are set up to do that. And I would even like to take what you took, Drell, about the video games and apply that to the live action show. Like, let's make Ash, you know, the father of a child going on this journey or something, you know, to where he's not gone forever in the anime, but here he is in the live action. Like, it would be absolutely phenomenal. And not only that, but you could do several, right? So, because like if you go back to Disney Plus and how many different Marvel television shows are, Pokemon makes so much money. They could easily do investment in good CGI, in good filming, writers, everything. They can afford the best of the best. Why not have like 3 series going at the same time, right? Like release one every Friday for 6 weeks, 7 weeks, and then 3 months later have another one. Start with, you know, Ash and the Indigo League, and then move on to a Team Rocket standalone series. How amazing would a Team Rocket standalone series be with Jesse James and Giovanni, and how Giovanni came into power? You're telling me a Giovanni show about him coming into power and finding his, you know, evolving his Persian and all that shit. Like, that would be fire, bro. That's what we need.
And especially like the Pokédex entries, like there's a lot of information that's leaves you questioning like what could have been, you know, or what happened, you know, so they can easily elaborate on that and make a CGI or live action TV shows out of that. Especially with all the spin-off games that they have too, they got a lot of content that can go into to make more cinematic universe type TV shows for sure.
For sure. Something else I think that they can work on that really, this is a Nintendo problem, right? This isn't really a Pokemon problem. This is a Nintendo thing. They almost refuse to collaborate with any other media franchises, like officially, right? Yes, they will collaborate Pokemon with Mario, and they'll do Super Smash, and they'll do that kind of stuff. But I can't think of a single instance, and guys in the comment section, correct me if I'm wrong, but I can't think of a single instance where, you know, the main Nintendo characters were a part of a different media franchise altogether just for like an appearance or a collaboration or something. I think they're missing the boat on that. Can you imagine the amount of marketing and the amount of hype that would be generated if, let's say, Pokemon became a part of Fortnite, right? Like one of the seasons had Fortnite involved. like there was a viral video where like people thought this was going to happen, and I was like, that's actually pretty cool. I might start playing Fortnite. But then when I found out it was fake, I was like, no, I knew it was too good to be true, because Nintendo would never rip out their biggest IP like that. And then, you know, one of the most popular versions of Minecraft is Pixelmon. You know, other than standard Minecraft, Pixelmon is massive. It's probably one of the top 3 downloaded mods for Minecraft, right? Mm-hmm. Not official Pokemon related. They basically are getting away with copyright infringement. But can you imagine Pokemon officially allowing Minecraft to create a Pixelmon game? Like, imagine the amount of hype. They're missing so much.
I mean, they have to. Yeah, I mean, they have to see Pixelmon and see the success that it's had. And I mean, I would hope they're asking themselves the question, like, why didn't we do that first, right?
Right.
You know, I could see them coming through, you know, later on and being like, hey, we're actually going to take that spotlight away from you, Pixelmon. Here's the real version of it. You know, I can see them doing something like that. Mm-hmm. You know, and I think that would be cool, you know, for them to do some sort of collaboration. Like, you're right. I can't think of a single time where, you know, Pokemon's truly like collaborated. Like you said, like the characters have been a part of something else, you know, other than, like you mentioned, like the Mario. Yes, there's been like the crossovers there. There's even TCG cards, you know, with Mario and Luigi and things like that in the Pikachu in those costumes. They've been on this island, I feel like, by themselves for so long. It's like, I don't know. It's hard to, like, you know, for me, it's like, how do you fit Pokemon in without like totally ruining both of the things that you're trying to mix together, right?
Well, it just needs to be like cameo appearances, it's you know,
tough.
Like it can't change the foundation, but like for Fortnite, it's just a skin.
Yeah,
it's just a skin pack, you know.
True.
You get a back piece of Pikachu hanging off your shoulder, you know, and you know you get the hat, you know what I mean? Like,
that makes sense. Yeah.
Like that's what you get, like, you know, in the
not like having like full blown.
Yeah, well, you could like the special moves. So like you guys have played recently, like they had the Hadouken, or not the Hadouken, but the you know, the Dragon Ball Kamehameha, and now they got the Deku Smash in there, and it's like you could totally do something with Pokemon where like you throw out your Charizard and you just flamethrowers and destroys whatever's in front of them.
Flamethrower, everything, right? Most definitely Pikachu. Just having Pikachu there with the
Thunderbolt
exactly.
That'd
be awesome.
We'll go hype, right? Yes. And also, I feel like that they should do more crossover, just like how Pokemon is in Super Smash Brothers. Why not be in like probably be in Mario Kart too? You know, maybe
that would be
you know, just more crossover in Nintendo. Yeah,
all that stuff. And just all across the board, more crossovers, more collaborations with everything. You know, even they need to have better relationships with streamers. I don't see them actively pushing, you know, their biggest streamers, you know, up front, like actually sponsored. Like, cool, you know, they send Real Breaking 8 a box of Pokemon cards and stuff. Like, hey, that's cool. But like, you like when you think Fortnite, or when you think Fortnite, you think Ninja. When you think Ninja, you think Fortnite. When you think Dr. Disrespect, you think, you know, first-person shooters, COD, Apex, right? Whatever he was playing at the time. Like, when you think Pokemon, which streamer do you think of?
Next level TCG.
Like really a streamer.
Next level TCG, boy.
You know? Oh, yeah, for sure. Next level, for sure.
Yeah, you're right, though.
But, yeah, I guess, like, you can say that's just YouTubers, right? It's not really streamers, live streamers, Twitch streamers. It's mostly YouTubers still, right?
It's everywhere, you know? Attach yourself to the new. I feel like Pokemon is stuck in the past a little bit, you know? And you can even see it in their game quality.
Or they, like, slowly...
Yeah, you can see it in their game quality. You know what I'm saying? And, like, you were talking about the video games before and, like, really beefing them up a little bit. And, like, I mentioned to you guys before we started recording, you know, go play 10 minutes of Scarlet and Violet and then go play 10 minutes of Hogwarts Legacy and tell me what game feels 1,000 times better. Like, it's not even close, man.
Yeah.
The frame rates, the graphics, the motions, it's not even close,
hands down different.
Even the maps. Like the maps alone, you know, the visuals, the mountains, the trees, like different levels. Levels.
I totally agree. That's been like one of my biggest things about the games, like this whole entire time. You know, like, yes, I started playing on, you know, Red and Blue, the most basic of the Pokemon games that we had.
See, but it's not handheld anymore.
Right. Well, that's true too. You know, but now it I mean, it really feels like, and I can't say that I've actually played Scarlet and Violet, but I've watched a lot of videos. I watched a lot of Sword and Shield videos as well. And I mean, it really feels like the same game with a little bit of polish on it. But then you look close at that polish and you realize it's really not that shiny. And they could have, they really could have, amped some things up. Like, I would love, I don't know if we have any, Elder Scrolls Skyrim fans out there like myself, but I would love a Pokemon game like that, where it's, we got the open world now with Scarlet and Violet, so we got that down. But like you said, amp up the graphics. It's tough because it's Nintendo, and Nintendo always feels like it's like a generation and a half behind when it comes to the new consoles and everything. So again, that's a Nintendo problem. But I think, we got to amp it up, right? Like, I get it's anime and things like that. You don't want to get away from that type of style, but like, I just feel like you can have better graphics, better frame rates. You could put out a game that's not so buggy. Right in the beginning, like maybe slow that down a little bit. Have the characters talk. Have the characters freaking talk in the game.
Sure, right.
It's been 27 years now, and like we barely get some characters that you say some things in the game, from what I understand. But like basic conversations, you walk up to an NPC and like you have to read what they say. Like, I'm not a big fan of reading. I just want it to get said to me, when I'm playing
today's
my game.
day and age, absolutely.
Right. I'm there to have fun and play a game, not read through a whole bunch of text to, through my mission.
It's more immersive too. It's going to be 10 times more immersive if they can bring voice actors.
I agree. Like
they most definitely got the soundtrack hands down good. It's really good. Maybe throw in more intense cinematic sounds during fights and stuff. But yeah, voice acting. For sure,
there's an entire generation that just enjoys the 8-bit BS, right? But like, let's be real for a second. It's cool, it's fun, it's nostalgic. I get it, but I'm gonna say the opposite, Nate. I'm gonna say yes. It's time for them to drop that crap. They can drop the anime style, the old style, the 8-bit style. It's time for them to put that crap on the back burner and take the next step. Yeah. Like, yes, I understand. You can still do that, right? Like, look at the BDSP, and we had the Chibi style game came out. You can still do that. You can still make those games, but it's time for them to make a AAA, expensive. Let's work on this game for 8 years, and put it in the Unreal Engine and make that thing look freaking phenomenal. Right. It's time for them to do that and stop nickel and diamond and pocketing the profits and releasing 2 different video games, so you have to get the 4 or 5 different exclusives. Like stop the bullshit. Stop the BS, man. Like, it's done.
Are there any other games out there that are like nope. 2 games like that?
I've never seen another one. If you guys know, let me know down in the comment section. I've never seen another franchise, especially the size of Pokemon, that forces people to buy 2 different video games at release.
We're just used to it. They can't fit all the Pokemon in one game. Like, I know that was the issue back then.
I think they're doing it for like trading.
Yeah, but now everything's online. But everything's online now.
Yeah, exactly,
back in the day, it was.
I mean, you can eat it. You can do it on eBay.
Yes, dude, for real.
If he's selling legendaries left and right
real.
On eBay,
like,
and you just transfer it. It's not even fun no more.
Back in the day,
you can't. Not many people have friends like that next door or whatever close buys on the same. Going on the same time trading. I don't know. I never had that like experience of like trading with friends like that.
I think very few of us did. And if we did, it's because we had a brother or sister, or one best friend, and like everything was between one other person. We didn't go.
Like either
no, you're fine. But I'm just saying, like, we didn't go to the park like searching for other people carrying Game Boys and be like, you got the Magmar, bro? I got the Electabuzz.
Exactly. I guess maybe they should make it more like social media aspect, like to connect within the game where we can meet online. With your own character.
Well, they got that in the new game where you can jump into their world. And that's where all the glitches come from. Is like you jump in the other person's world, and it like
I haven't been on.
It destroys the code. So like that's when you see people like falling through the earth, and they're like, It's
I've definitely seen those videos.
It's usually because you're in another person's game or something when it happens, and it's not communicating correctly.
Wow.
But they're trying to do that, which is great. But again, you're the biggest multimedia selling franchise in the world. Why is it not better? at this point.
And they're not the first game to like try that, you know, like they're not the first one to accomplish that feat of like getting somebody else into somebody else's game. Like it's been around for quite a while with
long
games.
time.
Like they should be able to figure it out.
I have no issues with it with Diablo 3 or anything like that. So, but now it sounds like I'm shitting all over Scarlet and Violet, but I'm not. I love the game. It's the best Pokemon game they ever made, and I still play it to this day. I'm still playing it. I love it, but it could be better. And if they put the time and effort and assets into it, they can absolutely make it better. But the next thing I want to talk about, guys, is something that's, you know, a little bit more niche, and I don't think it will explode. But what it would do is it would bring a lot of excitement to people, and this would benefit the children. And that's opening physical Pokemon Center locations in the United States. Now, they tried it in New York City in the early 2000s, and they closed it by 2005. It was only open for a few years. I don't know logistically why it didn't work, but at this point, if places like GameStop can maintain stores, hundreds and hundreds of stores, 1,000 stores in the United States, you can't convince me that once again, Pokemon can't put, I don't know, maybe just major locations, New York, LA, Dallas, Orlando, Atlanta, Chicago, Seattle, Miami. Like, take the biggest Las Vegas, take the Seattle, like take the biggest cities in the country and put a Pokemon Center in them. If GameStop can have a store, you can have your own store. Like, you can. You just can.
For sure.
And I think that would generate massive hype in the United States. Now, I know we're probably going to get a bunch of comments. Well, it's a Japanese product. You know, we're the buy market. But there's money in the United States, okay? Like, you know, they probably make more money on trading cards from the U.S. than they do Japan. Like, just from population alone. You know what I mean? And how strong the dollar is compared to the Japanese yen. But anyway, that's politics, right? But wouldn't you guys be excited to have a Pokemon Center within a couple hours driving distance, not having to fly to Tokyo?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, you think about it, like Disney has stores all over, you know, in malls all over the country. Why can't Pokemon? It's like, it's that simple of a question. Why can't Pokemon, you know, company make some Pokemon centers? There's no way it would do bad. Like, I understand, you know, the one in New York closed, but like, you know, maybe there was some different circumstances that, you know, didn't allow that one to run, you know, properly, or they, you know, they, you know, learned from their mistakes there and could run them better now. But like, yeah, why not have Pokemon centers? I mean, we have a Pokemon Center online. Why don't we have a physical store?
Oh yeah, physical store in the United States. Why not, for sure? Especially, or just try it out. Like they did try it out in New York, but like try it again.
Well, what about like satellite sites?
Now, you know,
you guys go to Target
all the time.
There's how many year Targets around do you have put in the Ulta stores? There's the Ulta section for
a couple
makeup,
of them,
right? And we have two Targets here, and one of them put in a Disney section. Like one of them is a very like they have a whole section in the toy area that looks different. They blocked it out and they put Disney, basically a Disney store inside Target. And then there's the Ulta for the makeup, and Sephora did the same thing. Another makeup brand they did for Kohl's, right? So like every Kohl's now has like a little Sephora shop inside. Pokemon could do the same thing. If you don't want to open up standalone stores, standalone businesses, like make an agreement with Target or Walmart to put a Pokemon Center inside of your store. You know, like that would be much cheaper.
Or maybe in malls too. Yeah, like with Legos everywhere
with the
too.
Lego store.
You know,
come on. Stores. If a damn Lego store can make it, a Pokemon Center can make it. Like I get that Lego is super popular. Yeah, it's not as popular as Pokemon is.
I think like, you know, if you did put the Pokemon Center inside of, you know, like a Target or a Walmart or something like that, those stores probably would benefit from that. You know, because like if they have somebody running that little, you know, section of the Pokemon Center or whatever in the you know, in the Target or the Walmart or whatever, they're probably not going to have as much stolen stuff. Not as many scalpers being able to buy out entire shelves of stuff. You know, things like that. I don't see where there's really anything negative that can come from that.
It can be easily monitored, for sure. Yeah, there's no way they can scout all those products at one time. No. it's not randomly located in Target stores. It's specifically in one side of the store, and it's Pokemon Center.
And they're already carrying a lot of the stuff. It's just strewn out throughout the store. You know, there's the trading card section up front. There's the toys in the back. There's the Mega Blocks in the Lego aisle. There's the plushies, you know, in the plushie aisle, or you know. Even if you go back and, you know, to the video game section, the video games in the video game section. And I know that my Targets keep like their jumbo plushies in the video game section, and all of the accessories, you know, all the Switch accessories featuring Pokemon are all back there as well. You can centralize it all. And, you know, they could even make money by having a contract with Pokemon themselves just to centralize it. Get one person to work the Pokemon Center. You can lock the trading cards behind a freaking, you know, glass pane, so that way the person has to physically go get them, like they do the expensive makeup in the Ulta section. Like they're cutting their losses down now too. Like there's, like you said, I see hardly any downsides to opening like a satellite Pokemon Center inside of a store like Target or Walmart.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Only if Toys R Us was still around, they would totally do it.
Oh, they'd probably be right on it.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, for sure. I mean, they're already collaborating with the Pokemon cards, with the GameStop cards and the Toys R Us cards.
I was thinking GameStop. I originally thought GameStop. I was like, oh, GameStop can have a Pokemon Center, but the GameStop stores just aren't big enough, and the company's reputation is ass. Let's be honest.
And booty.
So I don't really have much else, guys.
And, I mean, they tried it with Elon Musk, but that didn't really help.
SpaceX Pokemon Center. Pokemon Center on Mars.
Right. All right, we're going to Mars, fellas.
I don't have much else, guys. The only other things that I kind of put in there, if you guys want to touch them, one would be very, very, very expensive, which is like open up a Pokemon theme park inside Universal Studios, you know, like they did with, again, Harry Potter Land, you know. But other than that, the only other thing I can think of is just making the TCG events and the VGC, particularly the VGC events, significantly bigger. Like the TCG Worlds is already a big event that happens, but let's be honest, most casual people don't know about it. Only trading card people know about it.
Right.
And I couldn't even tell you when the VGC tournaments take place, how they take place. I couldn't tell you any of that. And this is coming from somebody who plays a lot of Pokemon and has a Pokemon YouTube channel. So how do you make those two events better, bigger, you know, more marketing, like a big thing, you know? That's all that I had.
Yeah, I mean, with that, I mean, I think they just need to market it better. Like, I don't see any marketing, marketing at all. You know, I would have figured I would have got like a YouTube ad or something here or there with the amount of YouTube videos that I watch. But there's just no marketing out there for it, for the VGC. You know, I've not seen anything for the TGC, you know, tournaments, which are, you know, probably a little bit bigger than the VGC, the video game side of things.
Definitely bigger.
Yeah, but it has to be just around marketing. If you don't let people know what you have, nobody's going to know what you have. Right. Mm-hmm. So, and unless it's the super hardcore people, like, you know, that go to the tournaments, actually play in them, you know, there's definitely the information's online, but it's not easy to find.
Yeah.
Right. And maybe this is where like sponsoring streamers comes into play, or, you know, on Twitch, you know, right? Like, or sponsoring with Twitch in general, like live stream the VGC on Twitch or anything like that, you know, that once again, that's marketing as well. So
I agree.
Yeah, for sure.
There's so many more things that they can do that they're not. Like, I love the Pokemon Company. Obviously, they're a very, very, very successful company. They know what they're doing 10 times more than what we do. But when you say it out loud, it sounds like they could do a little bit more and that they would benefit tons from it. So let us know down in the comment section, guys. What do you think Pokemon should do to continue to dominate and even further their stretch as the #1 multimedia selling franchise in the entire world? How can they take it, no pun intended, to the next level? If you enjoyed today's conversation, please smash that like button. We're here talking Pokemon trading cards all the time here on Next Level TCG. So drop a sub if you're into that sort of a thing. And remember, guys, if you want to level up, you need to be kind and be yourself.